It all started when my dad dug up the pair of water skis we had stored in our garage at our cottage up north. Had I not seen those skis tantalizing sitting on the dock, I wouldn't have felt the urge to try them out. I was 20 years old at the time and I had never been water skiing. I figured I wasn't getting any younger, so might as well try it out. I hopped into the lake water and did the awkward float while I tried to strap the skis to my feet. If this was to be any indication of how this experience would go, I should have just hopped back out of the water, continued my day, and saved myself an hour's worth of time and eternal embarrassment. However, I was optimistic at the time, and I didn't let one of the most basic parts of the process deter me. So once I'd finally gotten my feet into the skis, I was bobbing like a bobber, haha, in the water, and had to figure out how to keep my skis pointed up, not let the waves tip me over, and grab the rope handle and keep it between my knees. The theory behind it was simple, but the execution was not. More than a few times, I didn't even attempt to stand up because I wasn't able to grab the rope in time or I couldn't get my body lined up with the boat. On my very first shot at standing, I was finally able to get lined up, grab the rope, keep my knees bent and together, and brace myself for the jerk. I hollered, "Ready!" at my dad as he spun the boat around and pointed it towards the middle of the lake. My cousins and aunts and uncles were waiting right behind me on the dock, cameras ready. I could hear my cousin Haley scream, "You got it!" And I thought, yeah, man, she's right. I can do this. Turns out I couldn't. With a huge lurch, the boat dumped forward. I stayed back and the rope jerked out of my hands. I didn't even get my shoulders out of the water. Amid much laughing, my dad spun the boat around in a large circle so as to not tangle the dragging rope in the powerful motor. I waited anxiously for the rope to get within reach. It's a tricky timing issue to grab the rope, get situated, and lined up before the boat idles away too far and starts to pull the rope taut. I was stressing because I had a terrible vision of the rope wrapping around my neck and my dad speeding away and my life flashing before my eyes. Almost by a miracle, I managed to grab the rope. However, it was almost too late. The rope was already pulled taut, and by the time I got it between my skis and my body facing forward, I was already getting pulled along. I wasn't able to get my skis in the right position out of the water, so when my dad kicked it into gear, all my weight was on my left leg, and I toppled over, swallowed a mouthful of water, and blinked out more than a few splashes in my eyes. With my first two epic try fails, I was more determined than ever to get my next try right. So when the rope came around, I grabbed it with determination. Everything was basically lined up and in order. My dad revved the engine, and then bam! The boat took off with a jerk, and I was face first in the water because I had leaned my weight too far forward. I wish I could tell you that my next try, or even the try after that, was a success, but alas, it was not to be. So I kid you not, a full 30 minutes later, and I am still riding the struggle bus. Hard. If it wasn't me leaning too far forward and pitching head first into the water, I was leaning too far back and ended up crashing my hiney first into the chopping and surprisingly hard water. At this point, my cousins have all abandoned me to go up to the cottage for a snack. However, I was not totally without an audience. A large number of the residents of Echo Lake had gathered on their docks and beaches to watch the girl who just could not figure out this whole water skiing thing. Now, some people, this would motivate into action and give them a renewed sense of purpose and confidence. Me, it was just embarrassing. I honestly just wanted to get swallowed up by the lake that was hell-bent on preventing me from skiing. However, I would have been more embarrassed just giving up, so I stuck with it. At this point, I was beyond frustrated, sore all over, and completely waterlogged. I had my Uncle Johnny giving me tips, my dad calling me stupid and yelling at me, my brother being like, "It's not that hard, just do it." So as I was on my 45th try, I wish I was exaggerating, that things finally clicked. Knees bent and lined up. Skis poking just far enough out of the water. Rope, the perfect amount of slack between my skis. Me, lined up with the boat, poised for action. Boat, gunned at just the right moment. And oh my freaking gosh, I'm standing on the water. I don't know how it happened, but it did. Magically arose from the water like a sea goddess. Entirely false. I've seen pictures of this and I look more like a drowned rat. And I skated around the lake for exactly one lap before I collapsed into an exhausted heap on the water. I cannot express to you how much muscle it takes to stay afloat. Your legs are burning. Your back is under pressure. Your arms feel like you're on that torture machine that stretches your body. And then you have to steer on top of all of this. I work out, and that was one of the toughest full body workouts I've ever experienced. However, it was all worth it as I heard the victory cheers from my cousins and my fans around the lake. I was pleasantly surprised to see they stuck around to the end. After my victory lap, I crash landed and hung up my skis, so to speak, for that weekend.